Hello everybody and welcome back to the labs. I am Tousty and thank you for joining me here on another episode of ResonantRise MechStation. Woo! Oh yeah! Having a lot of fun with this pack and we have officially migrated the server. I've been talking about this for a couple episodes. Now we have a dedicated box as opposed to the node. There's a couple of mix-ups and so we're still waiting on a few things to happen with it, but the network connection is performing amazingly. The server is working great. And I've been really impressed with it so far. Huge shout out to Joe Schmel for helping us out, set that up, and to getting everything worked out with the hosting company. That was awesome. So, until next time, wow, I want to leave already. What are we working on today? Let me just show you guys a bit of what's been going on here. I haven't even really left my base yet, so the world is probably still going to load in a little bit. So last episode we worked on this monstrosity, right? This tower, this wonderful beacon of light in the middle of our dome. And I'm still not quite sure what I'm going to do with these corners. Whether I'm going to leave them like that, pull the beacons down, I don't know. We'll find out later. What I have done since then is I've come in and I've run the Ender Energy conduits from Ender.io up the corners. And so now all of the corners, having a bit of trouble here controlling things, have conduits in all 4 spots. All right, and that's about it as far as that goes. What I've also started to do is, I'll just sit on the couch with my laptop, watch some TV or something with my wife, and I've been starting to clear out some land and lay out the outside, the border edge of the dome, so the circle that will be the dome. If you guys are just getting into building in Minecraft, or you are just getting into, especially doing big builds in modded or vanilla, whatever have you, I highly recommend if it's like your first massive build. This is probably one of the bigger ones that I've ever even remotely accomplished or envisioned, because this is only one piece of it. Don't do a circle. It's really hard. It's really hard. But if you are looking for like a deep challenge, definitely. Why are these floating here? I don't know. All right. So let's talk about today a little bit. I wanted to take a little bit of a break from the building, a little bit of break from the magics, and work on something we haven't touched a whole lot this episode. So as you can see over here, if you follow this line around, this edge of the circle, right, so this guy here has to kind of come around and eventually meet up with this. And while I don't necessarily want just like a flat bleh, I mean, the inside will be a flat bleh for sure, but I don't want that right up against the circle on the outside. I don't mind there being stuff up against there. I do need this stuff cleared out of the way so I can lay down my dome. And it's kind of in the way. And while I know I could use a filler, or I could use a tinker's hammer and excavator, I kind of want to use a tool to clear out this section and for it to go quickly and just kind of a one-stop shop. So kind of like my dark pick here, which can do the gravel, the shovel, and the stone, right? So we come up here, and this guy's quick, right? He's not slow, right? So that's pretty awesome. Kind of like that, but something that I can make slightly wider. Now, what I have decided to go with is something I haven't played much with this time around, and I said I would the last couple of playthroughs of things I've done, and so I finally really started to get into it. We're going to look at the drill from IC2. So let's actually hop on over here. I keep forgetting I have this set up. Let me show you what other few changes I made. I've been in desperate need of glowstone, so I've grown a bit of glowstone down here. This is the vibrant capacitor that I'm using. Holds 150 million RF and will output at about 150,000 RF per tick. Now obviously we're limited by the cable, and that is per face 150,000, so we're not going to get anywhere near that. I have an idea for a way that we might actually be able to, but I'm not sure yet. I got to do a bit of research. I'm not going to let that cat out of the bag just yet. So all of the energy that's going to come in and out of this is actually going to come in from this side here. So I do have to fix that. There's none coming from over here yet. I will be working on that for sure. All right, so that's happening. The other thing that I've been working on obviously is IC2. So I got a couple machines down here: Metaformer, extractor, compressor, and a rotary macerator. So we'll get into this in a minute. Metaformer, really easy, just makes different things for IC2, different crafting components by switching the mode and using it. I got a hopper on top to feed stuff into it, and it gets pulled outside and put in an ender chest, and then these are pulling out from the side, well, the top. But extractor to make rubber, because I had a resin farm going for a long time. I just never really showed it off, and I've got like 30,000 resin or something crazy like that. Yeah. Oh, let me turn off that nonsense. All right. And then our compressor and our rotary macerator. Now, the compressor just squishes stuff down. You need it for a few things. We'll see some of that for sure. The rotary macerator is actually from Advanced Machines. It's an upgraded version of the macerator, which turns stuff into dust. Once you give it a redstone signal, which this wireless lever is doing for us, it'll actually sort of ramp up. Without that redstone signal on, you can see it start to drop, which means every time you put something in, it'll sort of speed up. So if I put a stack of stuff in to be crushed into dust, like, let's see, well, for example, to make this Lapotron crystal, you need lapis dust. You put that in a macerator, and boom, bam, you got yourself a dust. Whew. Wasn't aware of that. Okay, so the rotary macerator runs faster as long as its RPMs are up. And to keep its RPMs up, the RPMs don't start going up until you put an item in to be macerated. You know? So, but to keep it up, you keep it a redstone signal on it. And it'll constantly use power, but at least it'll keep the RPMs high. And then it's pretty quick. You can upgrade these machines. This is, in my opinion, an easier way because the overclockers from 4 IC2 machines, see the overclocker upgrade here, which I'm literally tapping my screen on, are kind of difficult to make. Not difficult, well, they're just a little tedious to make, and the recipe isn't fully in NEI, so you do need to look stuff up because you need to get IC2 coolant into an IC2 fluid cell, which is done by taking a water cell and lapis and a canning machine, putting it like it's a lot of work. So we are skipping that. The reason I'm doing all this is in order for me to make the drill that I want, I need iridium. And iridium is not that easy to come by at all. And I do have some from dungeon chests, right? So I actually have 10. I'm very fortunate to have 10. I think I need about 12. So I do need 2 more iridium. In order for me to get 2 more iridium, without just going and hunting through different places, I need to do something. And that is make a mass fabricator, which I have been working on off camera. So let's go down here. Our mass fabricator is not going to have near enough power to do what I would like it to do. Not yet. So I'm going to actually kind of cheat a little bit here. Now this may be a bad call on my part because it's going to be very difficult to keep the power level up for this, but I'm going to use some universal cable temporarily. So let's get some basic universal cable, and then let's get an advanced universal cable, and one of these guys, which I don't have any. Oh, interesting. Yeah, so 800. That'll actually be a nice amount, and not oh yeah, right here. 800 RF per tick will help to limit it. All right. So then let's just go. Well, why don't we head on down here for a second? Because I will need a bit of space for this. How do I want to do this? Maybe we will go back over here. This is why I'm moving. There is so much crap here. It's crazy. So let's hook our universal cable up right here. That'll do. And then we'll take our mass fab and put it here. So this guy has power. Using power and scrap, it will slowly, very, very slowly produce a fluid. It should have power. I don't see why it wouldn't. Yeah, there's power going in there. Right, so this will ever so slowly produce liquid. Now, I may need a lever for that to be a thing. So let's get ourselves, there should be, no? Let's try a wireless lever to help this out a little bit. Oh, I knew I didn't have one. I don't know why I did that. There we go. All right. So here's how the wireless levers work. You shift right click a face, you throw it down, you hit go. Now, with a redstone signal, power and you can increase or a redstone signal and power. It'll slowly produce small amounts of fluid called UU matter. UU matter can be used to duplicate items. Now, this is not cheap nor fast, so it's going to take us a little while to get here. Not sure I'm actually going to get it done tonight. But as you can see, this is going to take some time, and you can't like add items to it. What you can add to it, though, is something called scrap. So I need a recycler. Ooh, there's a compacting recycler. That's awesome. So the recycler is a compressor, which is a basic machine casing. Oh, no, I already got that. With a circuit, and let's do this. There's our recycler. Can we make the super recycler? Advanced machine casing. We got all the stuff we need for that. We just need the actual standard machine casing. Oh, I should really get some auto crafting online soon, shouldn't I? Advanced machine casing. There we go. Boom, bam. Compacting recycler. Let's get another wireless lever. Can't hurt to have a few of them tucked away because I'm always short on levers. Wait, what is this? Wireless transmitter. Interesting. All right, there's a wireless lever there. Let's actually head on down here. I should do a little bit of cheating again because we are going to use some of this cobble. Just a wee bit. All right. So this, I'm guessing, is kind of like the RPM. Oh, it's the pressure. I am not familiar with a pressure unit of Gibble, but I'm sure it's a real thing. So that, right now, is getting cobblestone from this transfer node. The transfer node is also feeding cobblestone into here, where we are slowly but surely making octuple compressed cobblestone. This will create scrap, and scrap is really, really cool. Check this out. So right now we have progress of 1%. I'm not sure why it's 1%, but it's 1%. If I put some scrap in here, it should theoretically turn this puppy up. Oh, so the redstone signal actually turns it off. My bad. All right. So the scrap adds a level of amplification to it. Now, what happens is, as long as the amplifier is active, this increases at a much faster rate. Although I'm not sure if it increases or decreases or stays the same as far as the energy requirement, but it'll do a lot. So you get a bit of scrap, you feed it in there, and the amplifier will just go to town. Once you have enough UU matter, it'll start to build up here. You can do some other things with it. So first thing I'm going to need is a scanner. Oh boy, this is not a basic recipe. So let me look at something here. I do need, oh man. Let's just look at advanced machines. I know they've added a lot of new stuff. So the advanced machines mod is sort of like just IC2 upgrades in a lot of ways. They add the arrays of generators. So if you are deciding to make IC2 power with their generators, you can make, they're kind of hard to put like the IC2 windmills and things right next to each other. This makes it so you can make an array of different generators producing sort of one amount of power from, and then you connect them all with the array cable. You can check out their site, the Advanced Machines site on, on the IC2 website has a lot of good, or the IC2 forum has a lot of good information as to how this works. So, rotary macerator, singularity compressor, centrifuge extractor, vacuum canner, thermal washer, compactor recycler, liquescent extruder. There we go. Now, which do I need? Roller, I think, right? Rolling, yeah. So let's get the roller. What is involved in that. Metal former. Few things that I'm gonna need to make. I'll do one of these on camera. I don't have any of that stuff, do I? Well, a little bit actually. So these coils are pretty easy. Do I have any of the stuff for that? Yeah, I should definitely have that. I forgot how that worked. Do I have any bronze plates? I have a few. Actually, I think it's the item casings. A couple chests. All right. So we'll do the metal former. All we need now is the actual machine casing. Ugh. See, this is why I want, you can make the plates two different ways. This is one way to do it. You make yourself a forge hammer. Now, I'm going to need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 of these, I believe. Oh, wait. And then 8, because I'm going to be using one. So you take a forge hammer, you put an item next to it, and it uses the durability on the hammer. Hopefully I don't use them all. There we go. Make yourself a few of these bad boys. All right, metal former. Now you notice that with this recipe, I'm actually using a mechanism control circuit. The IC2 and mechanism circuits are OR dictionary together, which is great in my opinion because the IC2 circuits are a little bit of a pain in the butt to make in relation to the basic control circuit. I don't know. The IC2 ones are at least just kind of crafting recipes. These are functional. I don't know. It's to each his own, but I like these better. They're easier to mass produce. Let's put it that way. All right. So I need a couple of advanced alloys, which means do I have any mixed metal? Let's make a few of these. 1, 2, 3, 4. There we go. Now, mixed metal casings are, yeah, power farm. Our mixed metal ingots here make advanced alloys in a compressor. So you can see how throw are these machines. You can see how slow these machines are without any upgrades. So IC2 machines have these slots on here, which are for upgrades, and some of them are really handy. If you're familiar with the new augmentation system in thermal expansion, which is much newer than this upgrade system was for IC2, but if you're familiar with it, it's similar to that. You can add different items to give the actual box of the machine different functionality. Overclockers speed it up, but drastically increase the energy they need. Transformer upgrades allow it to receive higher levels of energy. So right now it can only receive low voltage energy. Transformer upgrades allow me to increase the amount of energy it can take. I don't know if it's implemented. It was disabled for a long time, but if you put in too much energy, too much voltage, it will explode. Don't know if that's still implemented or not. Energy storage upgrade increase the amount of energy the internal capacitor of the machine is. It helps it when you have the higher speeds because it has more to work with. And then the ejector upgrade will actually just allow you to choose a side that it's going to pump out of. I think I might have one in one of these somewhere. Yeah, here. So it'll automatically output to the top. I wasn't sure I needed it at first. Turns out you don't. So these are making some advanced alloys. Fantastic. So then we need some coal, and I happen to have just compressed a bunch of pulverized coal. So these carbon plates that I'm making right now are a little bit of a pain to make. You need to take this like this. And there's 8 of those. Then you take 2 of those. No. What? Are these the ones that... No, that can't be right. Oh, it is. Okay. So once you got these, you... that's the wrong place. Come over to your compressor again, which is still working on these mixed metal ingots. Thanks for nothing, mixed metal ingots. Metallurgic confuse. Ooh, I actually really like the look of those. I don't know what my deal is with gray. I like gray. I like gray and blue. Those are my colors for life. All right. Boom, bam. We'll start to compress those up, and we'll have what we need to make the advanced machine thingy for our roller. Our what is this? Impellerized roller. Would that be how? Impellerized. That's right. Man. So you need the refined iron plates, which actually come from the mixed metal ingots. The advanced, come from taking refined iron and rolling it into a plate. The mixed metal ingots compress into advanced alloys, and then you get the carbon plates here with a regular machine casing, and that's all you need. So let's get some carbon plate. Boom, bam, and we'll say our roller belongs with us, and as does a wireless lever. Oh yeah. Got one in my inventory. Oops. Power farm. All right, so let's put some cable down underneath here, and then an impellerized roller. Also works on this gibble system. We're just gonna lock you in, huh? Boom. All right, let's check out how much power we're putting out here. Surprisingly not very much. It is fluctuating greatly, but a lot of that is coming from the RF and not so much the EU, which will be accounted for by that mass fabricator. So I should show you that down here we actually have an LV emitter, which is allowing us to output EU as well as RF in our advanced generator. And you can build the varying levels of EU electricity for that. You can build that up so you can get HV if you want, but then we'd have to be a bit more careful with all this. I'm fairly certain that these machines do take HV. If they don't, there are, as well as putting transformer upgrades in here, there are block transformer upgrades for IC2 that will take all of the energy from that cable and output it at a lower or higher rate. All right, why was I doing this? Oh yes, I remember why. All right, so one thing you need a whole heck of a lot of, I don't know why I did that, in IC2 are iron plates, right? Actually, all these plates, to be honest. And so what I decided to do just now is automate creating a whole bunch of these things. I mean, let's just get them going. And then we'll take our item conduits and we'll just pull out of the top of here. Now, IC2 is a really old mod that I've used for a long time. Actually, Advanced Machines is as well. They've undergone some drastic changes, and some of the stuff they've been doing is really, really, really cool. And so I'm kind of excited to have an option for EU-based stuff versus IC2-based stuff. But yeah, this is definitely going to be a long project. Look at that puppy roll. That's awesome. Power, good to go. All right. So let's head back up here. Oh, that was weird. Let's head back up here and look at what we need for our scanner again. So the scanner is what's used to figure out what items are needed for things. Or sorry, is to make sort of patterns in a way of the items that you want to duplicate. So illuminator is pretty easy, though I don't have any of that stuff. Iron item casing and tin cable. That's easy. Yes. All right. There's that. Illuminator, good to go. Now the electric motors are not that bad either. Okay, let's figure out them on camera. Pretty good. 1, 2, 3, 4 of them we're gonna need. Probably actually need more than that eventually. We do want a few tin item casings, and instead of going down there and getting everything rolling, we'll do it this way. So that should be all for that. Electric motor, perfect. Now, reinforced glass needs glass with these advanced alloys. So I'm glad I do have a few of them. I need to make 7 with that. That stuff is strong. All right, we got us our scanner. So let's actually head back down. I don't want to put it up here with the matter fabricator. I will find a different way to pipe in the fluid to it. So we're actually going to put it over here as well. Now I do need a few machines to connect next to each other for this to work. So I'm going to have to make some more cable. And I think I'm just going to come under here and actually just change this cable up, because it's not the best cable to be using. It's only used for lower tiers, and I want to be able to make these all higher tiers eventually. We'll see. I kind of want to test and see if the metal former will blow up if I give it too much power. I don't know. We'll see. So let's definitely, we're going to work on that in a minute here. But before I do, no, let's do that now. So it's pretty easy. I need some iron cabling. Yes, thank you, Thaumic. So we want, if we look at IC2, the cables all have varying degrees of effectiveness. The copper cable can carry 128 EU, which is medium voltage, I believe, and then 512 is the high voltage, and 24.8 is, oh no, this is the high voltage, okay. 512, somewhere in between. And then this stuff, this is the crazy, this is the EU level of EU, I guess, or EB level, sorry. So we're gonna need this. HV cables are iron that has been extruded. So we're gonna take some of these iron plates that we're making up, which we have a whole lot of now. And we're gonna come over here and change the mode on this guy to extruding. Actually, I don't know what this is gonna do for us. Did I read that right? I have no idea. HV cable is iron ingots extruded. Oh, that is a different kind of thing. I don't know what you're making for me. Let's just take a half stack of you guys and turn you into cables. Much better. I keep missing when I do that. A little preemptive there. All right, the other thing that I will need as well, I cannot remember the name of. It is going to be down here, though. Here is the... Where's my mass fab at? Replicator, scanner, that's what I need. I don't know if I actually need the pattern storage yet, but I do need the replicator. And if you want to save more than one recipe, you need to use the pattern storage, and you put them on these disks and you store it. But for this, I'm going to need to do quite a bit of work. So I might do this off camera just so we can finish this up this episode. It's going to take me a long while to make all this stuff. But oh boy, all right. I got to get to work a little bit here. These are not simple to make. And I knew they weren't going into it, but I desperately need some more iridium. And I would like to keep the possibility of... Yeah, I don't think there's actually a way to make it. I should have thought of that first, though. No. There is an iridium ingot. That comes from iridium ore, which... I don't have any of. I don't know what that mod is in here for, to be honest. So let's just get our LV cable here and start to experiment a little bit. Once I've got the resources I need together, I will make the replicator and we'll get going. But before I do, let's just check on the... Why do I have flux goo? 74% making our first tick, and that's because we haven't been feeding it with scrap, which is a bit of a mistake. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this auto crafter, right? The ejector. I've got a craft. There it is, a crafter. Here's what we're going to do. No, forget that. I don't need to do that. If I'm going to auto craft it, I'm going to auto craft it. but I really don't need to. We're going to say that this guy ejects this direction, right? So he's going to eject this way because I clicked on this side of the block. That might not make sense, but he's going to eject directly into our... What am I doing? Dimensional transceiver here, which is giving this guy extra power. It takes quite a bit to do this at a faster rate because I got on fast speed over here. I'm gonna make sure that this is going to work, and then we're going to have a filter that does not allow... I need to be down here for this, actually. The extraction of scrap into, well, anything really. That just comes out into this. So blacklist, no scrap. Then we'll come down here and we'll give this a good do-over. There we go. There we go. You're going to go in, but you're only going to accept... I think I have a filter somewhere. Although I don't know where. There it is. Always manage to have one or two of these with me, which is awesome. Even though it's the same one or two and I keep recycling them. See? You are going to be a whitelist for wheat. And there we go. Wait, that already had scrap in it, didn't it? Yeah, it did. Oh, well. All right. So then once this is, you can see you got 32 in here. Oh, you can't put the upgrade on it. Oh, that's sad. Oh, well. Looks like we'll do it this way. Yep, there we go. We're going down. So perfect. All right. Let me work on the replicator and let me see here. This should be getting on. We got 1 millibucket. Man, they nerfed that. I thought an iteration made 1 bucket. That is sad movies right there. All right, we're going to have to let this build up for a while, but that's okay. That is not going to be a huge problem because we're going to need a lot of time. So we'll be right back. Okay, so we're not quite there. I've got almost everything I need to make the scanner, and I haven't looked at our UU production. It's been a little bit of time. I got a snack and just kind of watch some stuff. My compressor is really slow, and that was like super necessary for a lot of these recipes. What I'm doing right now is, in order to make the final component that I really need for the scanner, I need something called reinforced stone here from IC2. And reinforced stone is kind of a special block because there is no recipe for it. And that is not a bug. In order to get reinforced stone, you need a few things. And it's a really, really interesting crafting recipe. But one thing that I need is I need at least 6 stone dust just to get it started. I will probably need more than that overall. So in order to get stone dust, though, you have to use the IC2 ore processing system, which involves macerating an ore and then taking that macerated ore and putting it, the crushed, I use silver in this instance, in an ore washing plant and or a thermal centrifuge. Each time you have a chance of getting stone dust. Now, when you take the ore through the macerator, the ore washing plant, the thermal centrifuge, and finally the furnace, you have a chance of getting extra ore. So you're way more than doubling. And plus you get these tiny piles of things. So I feel like in my automated system, I might actually go with IC2 for this. I really like it. It's interesting. You know, it's not the most powerful ore processing system. You know, you can obviously go better with things like Mechanism. But I think I'm going to use the advanced machines and get some really powerful ore processing online once I get my full-size Ender Quarry up and running. And I'm waiting on that for AE2 auto crafting and things that I want to work on. I don't have a need for it yet. And I'm at the point where I can massively auto-craft huge storage drives for ME, so we're going to wait a little bit longer before I do that. I have ran a total of, I think, 5 quarries this entire game, and they were one after the other. So once I made a quarry, it was like boom, 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 boom. 5 64 by 64 quarries-ish. It was actually a little bit less than that, but that's all right. And then I really haven't done it since. I've used magical crops a few times just to get me over the edge because gold is pretty scarce at this point for me. Stuff like that. But I haven't needed to go that much mining, which has been good. So I got 5. Come on, waiting on one more here. Do I still have the... I've got the hopper. The hopper. I don't want you to be doing what you're doing. Stop that. Okay. Throw you in here and let that cook up. In order for the ore washing plant to work, that's not where that goes. You do need a source of water to be constantly pumping water into it. Now this can get a little complicated because of the amount of faces. So if you don't have Ender IO to do like item and fluid in the same face, you kind of have to have something sticking up in front of it. So like you would need power, you need items going in, items coming out, and fluid. It gets really complicated. So it's really nice having Ender IO to have all those conduits in one block. Let's just hop over here. HQ. All right, so we need some CF foam. I honestly don't know how much of this I'm gonna need. I've got 1 CF powder, and then I'm going to have to get that into my sprayer. Now, I'm pretty sure you have to put this in a canning machine, but I just wanted to check something. Yeah, you do. Which is why I made myself a canning machine, which is also going to require some stuff. So I want to fill cell from tank. Let's do this and that and see what happens. There we go. So I have a bit of construction foam in here. So what I need next, and I don't know if I have to wear this or not, but we will just in case. What I need to do next is stop running up that hallway. Is actually make some iron scaffolding. Now these are made by extruding iron item casings. Which I don't have a lot of, so we'll take some iron down with us and some casings, and we'll extrude those into fences. Now I don't really need more than 2, I don't think. Yeah, I don't think I will, to be honest. I'm not rightly sure. So let's go to our metal former, our roller, sorry, and roll some of these guys out, and then we'll grab them from up here. Great, we got lots now. So let's actually head back. I don't know why I did that. Oh, that was an interesting place to land. So we'll go iron scaffold from IC2. It has to be these ones as far as I know. Like there's not really a way around it. Ugh, that flux, huh? Oh no, I did need to stay down there. I don't know why I came back up here. See, that didn't seem right. We'll come over to our metal former to extruding, and we'll let that roll through, and we'll get ourselves some iron fences. Then we can go back here and make the scaffolding. Iron fence? Yeah, that's right. So once we get 3 of these, we'll make the scaffolding. We're also going to need a bit of sand and a place to do this. I don't know how much exactly one... We only have 1 bucket of construction foam. Let's actually run down and see if we have enough stuff to make some more, just in case. Yeah, let's make another batch of it, and we'll sell it up. CF powder. Oh my goodness, in the walls, awesome. All right, and once again, we'll take this with our lovely tank. All right, doesn't take long. Boom, bam, we got 2 buckets worth of CF stuff. And we should have our fences by now, I want to say. Maybe not quite yet. So iron scaffold. Boom. Perfect. So let's go down here really quick. And let's do this. So you take your iron scaffold. Right? I'm just going to put up about 9. because I don't really know how much I'm going to be able to do with this. And you take your sprayer and you spray it. Boom. How much did that use? Oh, actually, it's 100 millibuckets per thing. So that will slowly begin to dry, and eventually it will become reinforced stone. We're just going to move the process along by right-clicking it with a bit of sand. Now, this does consume the sand, but that's okay. And this stuff is actually quite hard. It mines a little bit faster than obsidian, actually quite a bit faster than obsidian, but it does resist explosives. If you look at it, it will, it'll tell, or sorry, if you look it up, it tells you that you can resist explosives. I forget what site it's on. I don't know. I remember a long time ago when I did this, it would tell you kind of the level that it would resist. And so it's pretty cool. So I'm just going to finish making the rest of this, actually. I'll take all 7 of these. And we'll just give that a spray. And then we'll take our sand. And boom, bam. I bet there's a way to automate this. I have actually an idea for automating this that I may want to do, because it's pretty cool stuff. I mean, I like the look of it. You can make a couple of blocks out of this that are really neat. And we'll just... it'll come in handy in the future, so that may be a fun build as well. Okay. So, the scanner. What do you require? Not the scanner. I have the scanner. I'm looking for the replicator. Boom. That was all we needed. All right. So let's head on down here to our power farm, where we will just draw up another cable. I did go ahead. I don't think the explosions are in this, but I have not yet done what I want to do. I did not mean to put that there. There it is. I don't have the wrench, so I hope this works. Let's grab some iridium. And we will scan it. All right. Waiting. No storage. Oh. Okay, that's what I was afraid of. Let's go make ourselves a wrench, which is made out of bronze. This is the IC2 wrench. You do need to have this or the electrical version of it. You cannot use the crescent hammer or the Yeta wrench or anything like that. It doesn't work. We're going to shift right click. Is there modes on this? No, there's not. We're going to hope for the best. Oh boy, that was scary. So there is a chance that you will lose the item to some degree. It'll break down into one of its lesser components when you do this. So now I need the let's go industrial craft. Let's look here. Pattern storage. This guy, this thing, oh boy, I remember this guy. This thing is a beast to make. Advanced alloys. Man, we don't have half of that stuff. All right, circuits. Take this. Take our alloy. Take about 10 of these. Okay. Then we'll do our pattern storage. You need silicon dust to make these crystal memories that kind of not the easiest thing in the world to make. Oh, this is actually going quite well. This is where I'm a little concerned. Crystal memory requires silicon dioxide and obsidian dust. I can get that. It's the clay dust and the thermal centrifuge. So now I have to make yet another IC2 machine. You can see how kind of a rabbit trail this is. Unless there's a way to make this... No, it's only that one. So why don't we get some obsidian macerating when we go down there. But let's make the thermal centrifuge. This thing is a bit of a beast on power, so you do kind of want to be careful with this. Ah, that's what I was afraid of. All right. Compressor is really slow, so this in fact does need to be, you know, getting a bit of work done here. Macerate that up, and then compressor will compress these. Awesome. Okay, so Now let's try again, thermal centrifuge. We'll need an electric motor, which will require a few of these. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, I think I'll need overall. Oh no, I will need 6 actually. Not a problem. An electric motor, good to go. I don't know why I needed 6 of those. So we got all those. We actually do have this. I just gotta save up the stuff for the mining laser. Oh, awesome. So, we need this, which 9. So in order to make these red crystals that have been required for everything, you need to take this Energium dust and compress it. You need 9 of them to make this work, actually. And then it'll turn into an energy crystal, which, and this Energium dust, you need 5 macerated diamonds and 4 redstone. All right, so that is good to go. So let's come over here one more. This is not the ideal way to set these machines up at all. Okay, this is another one of those machines that you can tell it to continually draw a bit of power to maintain a certain level of something. So let's get this wireless lever. And we will get this guy heated up because this is a very, very, very slow machine. Now, let's just look at the pattern storage. I kind of forget why I'm doing this. I know we need it for the silicon thing. Crystal memory raw. Silicon dioxide is clay dust, which is just macerated clay blocks. Which I don't have a huge amount of, but no problem. Where's our macerator? I'm just going to grab as much of this as I can without it getting sucked up by the system, but I'm not getting it all for sure. I can't click quite that fast. All right, and we'll throw you in here. And as you can see, we got a heat level of 251 out of 250. If we come over to our generator, we're going to be drawing quite a bit of EU here. Actually, the full 128. That's all I can pull right now from the LV machine. I'm fairly certain if I put the higher tier generator, all of these machines will be okay. I really don't know, but I haven't had an opportunity to test it because my single player worlds keep crashing. So I will be checking that out. I haven't seen in the changelog that they've reinstated the explosion mechanic, and what it comes down to is it's not handling the voltage tiers properly. They work for power transfer, but it's not doing the explosive part properly. So we leave these in here. It'll slowly cook up into one. I may actually need to get the rest of that clay dust out. I hope I made enough. I may not have made enough for both chips. So you do need quite a few pieces of clay for this to work. So why don't we just head on back once this is done cooking up.